Hey everybody, this is Jaron with Piston Ranch. It's been about 2 years since I've made any content, and I was blessed. We have 2 young boys growing up, and that's more important than any of the stuff I do in the garage here, but do still get time to work on things. I was able to build this truck this last year. I just didn't find time to do all the videoing, so I am going to try to get back into showing everybody what I'm working on, and hopefully we can get caught up here, give an update on this truck as well as the rat rod that has the Ford 300 in it. So I'll show you what we got going on. Well, we'll get started talking about this car. I think the last video I pretty much had everything together and was pretty close to running and driving it. I actually did try to fire it. I have wiring inside the car that has to be finished, tied up, but the car does crank start. The car does crank. Fuel pumps are wired. It has 2 pumps in the tank. And it's ready to go, with the exception of I was having inconsistent spark, and I finally think I figured out why everything was going wrong. With me trying to run a 24 tooth reluctor on a stock ECM, I tried to mill my own factory like LS reluctor, and it wasn't 100% true. So it was mounted down here, similar to how this one is now, but I was probably 80 thousandths off center. And so instead of starting over again right away, I just chucked it back in the lathe and cleaned it up because I thought there was enough indentation that it would still show. And it didn't. It basically would fire a couple of the cylinders, give you backfires, that kind of thing, and puts a sour taste in a person's mouth. So, and basically where I'm at with it now is I ended up having the reluctor wheel remade so that a stock LS reluctor wheel will just press on and you just tack it in place, and it's mounted to the center part of the balancer, not the outside. I have a mount here, it's tacked, and it's got 2 holes, and basically then this bar will slide back and forth, and there's another piece that is drilled that will accept the sensor. So hopefully we wrap this up soon, but like I said, it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth, and I also needed a kind of something of a reliable driver. My stock pickup my daily driver has 280,000 miles, and when stuff breaks and that's your only driver, kind of need something else. So I built this. This is the Blazer that I rolled over in one of the videos. I had a grain truck cab, and basically I just cut the floor pan out of the Blazer and cut the cab at the window line, basically, or I cut it below the hood a little bit, set it on the package tray in the front, welded it there, and then basically welded it to the floor pan. So interior is Blazer. I can kind of show you what I did. And it's rough, but I like it. So you can kind of see here, that was the original Blazer. I literally set the cab on it and welded it to it. When I build stuff for me, I don't get too worked up on details, but it's all Blazer. I would like to put something to hide the void here. I think I'm literally gonna use pool noodle or a piece of roll cage padding, and just that should hopefully flow and hide that. Stocks and runs and operates literally like a Blazer. Radio works, AC works. It's just a 4.3 V6 with a 4L60 and a push button full-time transfer case. So it's really simple. I tried to keep everything stock with the exception of I cranked the torsion keys and put like a 3-inch rear shackle in it so I could get a little extra ground clearance. Under the hood, things are tight, but it's just there's honestly not as much room under these as a person would think. I did have to lose the ABS box, and I just piped the brakes right out of the master cylinder right into the lines going to the brakes. There's no proportioning block, nothing. The brakes are awesome. It's way better than the ABS brakes were. Headlights, I didn't have all the headlight bucket parts. Those are headlight buckets from a Harley Davidson, like they're a 7-inch headlight bucket, and same thing with the trim rings, and I just fogged them with rusty metal primer, and when it was still wet I hit it with a little bit of black paint, and like a flat black. That's kind of what I did up on the visor, and it matches the paint pretty good. This will never get painted. The truck's too rough. It actually has a lot of rust on the lower areas, and every panel's dented. Why would you bother trying to make this look really nice? I think it looks cool when it's rough. So the bed did not come with the truck because it was a grain truck. An old couple was using it as their pickup box trailer to haul wood, and they were kind enough to sell it to me. Neat enough. It's hard to read, but it actually says trash service with a number on the side. I think that's really cool. It's actually from around here, so it's kind of a neat little piece of history. In the bed, I ended up just using trailer deck screws, and I just built a angle iron frame, welded that to the frame of the Blazer, and then I just deck screwed everything down. And for the fuel tank, I wanted to keep it simple. The factory fill would have been there. That's not going to happen. The Blazer's way back here, and I didn't want a hole in the bed, so I just ended up cutting and framing out a section, and the fill is under the floor. The only problem would be is if you fill the bed with stuff, but this isn't like a super heavy hauler, Still got stock springs. I did put air shocks under the back so you could haul something decent. I don't know if I'll put a hitch in the back or not. It's not like this thing's got a crazy amount of horsepower, but it is fun to drive. And honestly, it's probably more reliable than my 2004 Chevy. So anyway, I appreciate y'all taking time to watch the video, and I look forward to having future updates. This car running, hopefully making big power in the real near future. Thanks for watching.